Here's a test plan that can be used to check our hints component, and in an assessment, this would be followed by testing evidence. Here's what your component should look like. Note that we've stripped away everything except the buttons that we need, which lets us show that it works correctly and buttons are enabled and disabled as expected. So here's what your code might look like. In your start game class, you still need an initial function, but all you need is a frame and a play button. The check round function defaults to 5 rounds, and that invokes our toPlay function, and our toPlay function invokes our play class, similar to what you've seen before. In our play class, we just need a heading and our hints button, and how it works is it goes button, function, class. So our button leads to our toHints function, and of course our toHints function is going to invoke our displayHints class, and that displayHints class is very similar to what we did in temperature converter. Once you've successfully got the component, I'd like you to integrate it into your base component. My final big component is the stats component. I realized that I could dramatically improve my stats component, so I revisited the design and updated my documentation. I also updated my planning and provided an updated planning overview. One of the big things that we need to do before we go further is make sure that we can work out the maximum possible score. Please go into your base component and go to your Get Round Colors Helper function. Then scroll down to underneath where we work out the median and add in the code that will let us retrieve the high score. You also need to edit your return statement so that it now returns 3 things instead of 2 things. Then, inside the initial function of your play class, you need an additional list, which is our all high score list. Our final step is to scroll down into our new round function. When we invoke our Get Round Colors function, we're now getting 3 things: the round color list, the median, and the high score, which will be stored in the round color list variable, the median variable, and the highest variable. Once we know what our highest score is, we can of course append it to our high score list. To easily generate some typical test data, scroll down to your rounds result function and put in some print statements so that you're outputting all scores, all medians, and high scores. Then go ahead and play 5 rounds. Try and win some of the rounds and lose some of the rounds. At the end of the game, it's easy to retrieve the data from each of the 5 rounds that you've played. And if this was an assessment, you could use that to populate an Excel spreadsheet where you automatically calculate the statistics. And you'd want to do this for the best possible score, the worst possible score, and a typical score. As this video is getting quite long, I'm going to show you how you can create the stats component in the next video.